Hello everyone, this is my NFL Week 4 reaction video. So let's start off by saying I had a pretty good week this time. Overall, for picks, I went 10-4, so not too bad. Definitely my best week of the season, so hopefully we can build on this and keep improving. Let's start by looking back at the very eventful Dolphins and Bengals Thursday night football game. So for this game, I had picked the Bengals to win. I knew Tua was playing with some sort of head injury. I think everyone knew that, although the Dolphins medical staff decided to pretend like they didn't know that. So Tua took a pretty nasty hit. He still won't be playing this next week either, I don't think. Either way, I think the Bengals still would have won. Tua was making some really accurate throws. Right down like the middle of the field, 20-yard passes, but he was still underthrowing those deep shots. One of them got picked off, and I thought when Teddy Bridgewater came into the game, he did a pretty good job. He was making some accurate 10-yard throws. They're running the ball efficiently, but towards the end of the game, he made that very big mistake by throwing a pick six. I think it was a pick six, yeah, right towards the end. And I think he threw it almost in the red zone. I don't know, it was a while ago. But either way, Bengals win. So finally picking against the Dolphins paid off. Next up we have, well, let's just get this one out of the way. So we have the Patriots and Packers game, a game I expected not to be very close. Like the second drive of the game, Brian Hoyer took a big hit, and the Patriots were not going to make the same mistake the Dolphins did. They took Brian Hoyer right out of the game, and there was no shot he was returning. So in comes rookie quarterback, third string QB, Bailey Zappi. I think he handled the pressure pretty well. We took the Packers to overtime. We actually led 24-17 for a good chunk of the game in the second half. I thought the defense played pretty well. Pick six on Rodgers, a few sacks. We even got the ball back in overtime, couldn't convert. So I thought we put up a really good fight. That was nice to see at least. But yeah, overall the Packers got the win, and I did pick them to win. So I started off the week with quite a few wins. As you'll see, because the next game we have on here, Vikings and Saints. The Vikings were, like, I was sweating during this game because I've had the Vikings let me down so many times, and the Saints go from playing, horrible against the Panthers and then almost beating the Vikings, back and forth, really exciting game there in London. But the Vikings came out on top, and so did Justin Jefferson for my fantasy team, so that was really nice. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Browns. Another game I thought would be really close, but I went with Mariota and the home team, and they came through for me, 23-20. So the Falcons pulled out a win, and that's another game in the win column for me. This next game I thought I got completely dead wrong. So Bills at Ravens, I picked the Bills. A little bit out of spite, but I really thought they have a better overall team, and they play a better 4 quarters of football than the Ravens do. And it turns out to be true, but the Ravens really started off hot. It was like 17-0 or something, and I couldn't believe how badly it was turning out to be. But sure enough, the 4th quarter of the Ravens did not show up, and the Bills were able to hang in there, and they ended up playing the clock perfectly and hitting the game-winning field goal. 23-20, Bills win, another win for us. Next up, Cowboys and Washington. I thought this would be a little closer of a game, but that Cowboys defense just completely took out Carson Wentz, and Cooper Rush played very well. So another win for us and another win for the Cowboys. 25-10, Cowboys are 3-1, tied for second place in their division. Next up, we have a game that angers me quite a bit. This is the Seahawks and Lions game, and if you recall in my last video, I said this was the game I was like most certain about, that the Lions would win and the Seahawks would lose. I know Geno Smith has been playing efficiently. didn't think he'd been playing 48-point efficiently. But he put up 48 points against the Lions defense. So now the Lions rank with one of the top offenses in the league and probably the worst defense. So unfortunate for them, but also unfortunate for my picks. Next up, we have the Chargers and Texans. This is a game we picked the Chargers to win, and they came out on top. Texans put up a little bit of a fight, but Chargers are still better overall. Next, we had the Titans and the Colts. I thought this would be a close one as well, but the Titans were the better team, and another one I got right. So it was nice to see some of these close games falling the right way this time. Next, another game I actually had to come back to because I really didn't know who to pick, and that's the Bears and the Giants. I went with the home team. I went with a good defense against a really bad offense. And sure enough, the Giants pulled it out at home, 20-12 against the Bears, kind of like how I expected it to be. And the Giants are now 3-1. So keep an eye on that. Another game, Jaguars and Eagles. This is a game I said watch out because the Jaguars could steal this game, and they almost did. But they couldn't contain the Eagles' offense for long enough, and the Eagles came out victorious, 29-21. Luckily, I did pick the Eagles to win this game. Next is probably the game that made me the most mad of the week. That's the Jets at the Steelers. This game, I really just needed the Steelers to win this for my picks. And they couldn't even beat the Jets at home. So how embarrassing to be a Steelers fan and to be a Steelers player. The Jets won with Zach Wilson returning and had enough offensive juice to beat that Steelers defense. So good for them, I guess. Next, we have Cardinals and Panthers. I picked the Cardinals to win this game all the way, and they won 26-16. So no surprises there. Moving on to my lock of the week, that was the Raiders to beat the Broncos, and sure enough, they finally pulled out a game. The Raiders' offense was too much for the Broncos' offense to keep up with, and now the Raiders are no longer unbeaten, and the Broncos are no longer a winning record team. Next, we have the Chiefs and Buccaneers. I'm not surprised the Chiefs won, even though I picked the Buccaneers, but I am shocked that they shredded the Buccaneers defense like that. They scored 41 points pretty easily. Honestly, the Buccaneers didn't play horrible offensively. 31 points. Brady had like 3 touchdowns, 375 yards, 39 completions or something. So it wasn't even that. It was just the Chiefs' offense exploded on them, which is not usually how it works for the Buccaneers defense, I mean. And then finally, we have the Monday Night Football game, Rams at 49ers. And this one I did get wrong, but the 49ers are one of those teams where they will play horrible and score like 10 points against a Broncos team, and then they'll go out and beat the Rams or something like that. So the Rams are now 2-2, the 49ers are now 2-2, everybody's 2-2. I'm excited for next week. We'll see what happens. But overall, 10-4 for the week for picks. Not too bad. We will see you next time.